Right, good day, grade 11 learners. Welcome to our mathematics lesson. I am Sikhulile Ncube. This lesson is proudly brought to you by the Gauteng Department of Education in collaboration with Saibono and is broadcast by Parama Research and Development. Right, like I said, did I mention my name? I am Sikhulile Ncube. Remember that. Okay, right. Today we're going to look at what? Financial mathematics, grade 11s. Remember, you don't learn mathematics by just listening. You're not just listening. I want you to take out your books, you take out your pens, your calculators, especially the calculator. You'll need a calculator. If you don't have it, can you look for a calculator? It's very, very crucial that you have your calculator with you today. Right. Make sure that your book is there with you, and then we're going to be working together. I don't just say a lot of things without giving you work to do. We are doing this together, me and you. We are doing mathematics. Okay, remember that. And remember WhatsApp line grade 11s 064 748 8913. That's our WhatsApp line. You want to ask questions, we are here to assist you. Okay, we have a team of teachers this side that is waiting for your questions. We're going to be answering your questions. Let's engage each other and make sure that we learn. Okay, right. Now we're going to start. We are going to start. Right. At the end of the lesson, what are you going to learn? You are going to use the simple and compound growth formulae, which is this formula. We're going to talk about this formula. Have you seen this formula before? Right. If it's your first time to see it, then you are going to it's okay. If you have never seen it, it means it's going to be your first time to see it today. Right. And then we have this formula also. A is equals to P and then bracket 1 plus I to the power N. You see, N here is an exponent, and then N here is not an exponent, it's inside the bracket. What is the difference between these two formulae? We're going to learn that today. Right, we're going to be using these two formulae to solve problems, including which problems? Interest. Do you know interest? Okay, right. What are we talking about when we talk about interest? Remember, our topic is financial mathematics. Right, when we're talking about interest, what is it? Do you know that? Right, when you're talking about interest, is the money you gain when you save, when you invest, or the money you pay if you take a loan. So we're going to talk about that interest and then also talk about the difference between interest and interest rates. Right, and then different types of interest. We're going to talk about hire purchase. What is hire purchase? Okay, you're going to find out today. And then inflation. Maybe you've heard people talk about inflation. What is it? We're going to learn about that today. Okay, and then the other thing we're going to look at, growth, population growth. How does the South African population grow? Okay, you've done functions. It's going to be very nice. We've done functions in what? In grade 10 and also in grade 11. How do we link that? The growth, population growth, and also maybe some information from functions, okay, and other real life problems. Okay, we're going to talk about that. And then you're going to understand the implications of fluctuating foreign exchange rates. What is foreign exchange? We're going to learn about that, and then the effects of the fluctuating, changing in what exchange rates. If you check news every day, they give us the rates between rand and maybe US dollar or rand and pound. You check those things, and they're always changing. Sometimes goes up, goes down, like that. We always have that. So we're going to learn about that today. And then refer to the CAPS document. Everything we're doing here, we're guided by the CAPS document and the examination guidelines. Examination guidelines means the exam. The examiners are guided by that. So we're doing everything from these two documents. Okay, right. Let's start with simple interest or simple growth. What is it? What is it? And sometimes get time to discuss your things. Okay, when I give you a question like that, you can discuss very fast, then we move on. Okay, simple interest is calculated on the principal amount that is invested or borrowed. Right, so now you borrow, you go to the bank and borrow 10,000 rand. or 100,000 rand. 100,000 is your principal amount because interest is going to be charged on that 100,000. How? We are going to find out. You invest 100,000. Interest is going to be earned by that investment. So the 100,000 is the principal amount. Okay? Right. Consider an amount of 5,000 invested at 10% per annum simple interest. Right. What does per annum mean? What does per annum mean? It means per year. So now 5,000 is invested at 10% per annum. It means every year you get 10%. Every year 10%. Every year 10%. Okay. Simple interest is calculated on the principal amount. Right. If you look at this statement here, what is the principal amount? Answer that question. I want you to answer. Even if you are alone, just say the answer is this. What is the principal amount here? Which is the 5,000. Right. Consider an amount of 5,000 is invested. And then a 10% per annum simple interest. We're going to use this example to explain how simple interest works. Okay. And then 5,000 invested for a 10% per annum simple interest. I'm going to do calculations for the next 5 years. We see how it works. Right. What is the principal amount? It's 5,000. So now, at the end of the first year, you are going to be having your 5,000 that you invested. Plus what? Plus the interest. And then what is the interest? It is 10% of 5,000. So what is 10% of 5,000? It's 500 rand. So it means at the end of the first year, you will be having 5,500, which is this. Let's go to the second year. What do you say about simple interest? Interest is charged or earned, okay, using the principal amount, the amount that is invested. It means your money can grow. We're talking about growth today. So we're not going to talk about what the money going down, the decay. Decay is for the other lesson. So today we're talking about investing, okay, where the money grows, appreciates. Okay, right now, okay, the money can grow from 5,000 to 50,000. Even in the bank, if I have 50,000, but if I invested 5,000, I'll be still earning 10% of 5,000. Do you see that? It will be still earning what? 10% of 5,000, what I invested. It will never change. So now, second year, yes, I have 5,500, which is this. But I will earn 10% of what? 10% of 5,000. You see? The things that are in red are not changing. So interest is always charged on the original amount. It doesn't change. That is simple interest. That's what he said, isn't it? Right, now, and then we go to the third year. I have 6,000 now in the bank. But I'm still getting 10% of 5,000. I'm still getting 500 rand. Although my money has gone up to 6,000, but I'm still getting 10% of 5,000. How do you feel about this? I have money in the bank, 6,000 now, but now I'm still earning 10% of 5,000. It's a bit unfair. Okay? What is happening to my other 1,000? It must also gain interest, isn't it? Right, but that is simple interest. That is simple. That's how it works. Right, okay. So 10% of 5,000 is 500. Now I've got 6,500. Okay, so now fourth year, same thing. I've overemphasized this. Let's go to the fifth year. Same thing. Do you see that? So interest is charged on the original amount. That is for simple interest. That is for simple interest. Let's see the behavior of simple interest. Now, first year I had 5,000. This is the money that I invested. Second year there was 5,500. It went up by 500 rand. No, this is the first year, sorry, not second year. First year, okay? End of first year. And then end of second year, I have 6,000. It went up by 500 rand. 6,500 went up by 500 rand. 7,000, it went up by 500 rand. 7,500 because it went up by 500 rand. So now what do you observe? Okay, before we talk about the observations, I'll give you time, maybe 1 minute to discuss the observations. Right, let's plot our points. Right, now we have this point here. This is the money invested. That's where it starts. We started with what? With 5,000. It went up to 5,500. It went up to 6,000. It went up to 6,500, 7,000, 7,500. Okay, let's join our points. What type of a graph is this? Right, now I want you to have 1 minute. 1 minute. What do you observe? What have you learned about simple interest? Let's have 1 minute. Right, welcome back, grade 11s. I really hope you discussed and come up with ideas and whatever you've observed. Okay, right, what I have here is not like exhaustive. I did not what mention everything. Whatever you've mentioned and saying is correct, it's fine. It's fine, it's okay. Right, now remember our WhatsApp line 064 748 8913. Please engage with us. Engage with us, please. We want to get your ideas, we want to get your questions, we want to get your input. Okay, right, even if the speed is very, very important. I don't want to move alone. We don't want to move alone here. If we're fast, you tell us so that we can what? Slow down. We want to move together. Okay, right. Interest received each year is calculated using the original amount, the principal amount. That's what we observed. Okay, we observe that interest received each year is always the same. It was 500 rand, 500 rand, 500 rand. That is simple interest. That's why we have a linear function, a linear graph here, because it's constant difference. Constant difference. Right? Simple interest graph is a linear function. That's what we observed. Maybe you also observed other things, which is great. Let's move on to the next part. Now, I would say now I invested 5,000, or Thabo is going to invest 5,000 for 20 years. Then let's calculate simple interest, or let's calculate how much will he have at the end of 20 years. Are we going to calculate first year, second year, third year, fourth year, up to the 20th year? It's going to be a lot. You spend maybe 20 minutes working on that thing. Okay, there's an easier way of doing financial mathematics. There is what we call a formula. So now it is very, 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 very important, grade 11s. You are going to get marks for picking the correct formula. So understand the problem that you're going to be given. Is it simple interest? Is it compound interest? For now, we're dealing with these two. So I'm going to concentrate on those two. But you will have maybe 4 more other formula under financial maths. Okay, pick the correct one and substitute correctly and get your marks. This topic contributes around 15% in your examinations. Okay, get all the 15%, not 15 points, isn't it? 15%. Get the 15% from financial maths. It's a very, very easy topic. You can get all the marks here. Okay, right, so we're using formula. So now we need to understand this. Soon after this, I'm going to be giving you work to do. Okay, because you know how to write the formula, you know how to substitute, you know how to use a calculator. So now I'm not going to be explaining anything. I give you work and then you do it. And then I just what? Give you the answer, you mark your work. You see, that's how we're going to learn. So what is A? A, accumulated amount. What is to accumulate? You keep on what? Adding till you get the final amount. So now what is being added here is interest. 5,000 plus 500 plus 500 plus 500 plus 500 till it is 7,500. So 7,500 is the accumulated amount. It has accumulated to 7,500. Okay, the future, what you're going to get at the end after you've invested. Then P, what do you think P is? I've been mentioning this a lot today. What do you think P is? This is the principal amount, the original amount. In the example that we talked about, it was the 5,000. Okay? 1 is 1, is constant, does not change. I, what do you think I is? I is what? The interest rate. Interest rate. I'm going to explain the difference between interest and interest rate very soon, okay? But now, the interest rate expressed as a percentage, but convert your percentage to decimal. If it's 9%, what do? 9 divided by 100. I'm going to be emphasizing that as we do our work. Right, so this is the interest rate, right, as a decimal. Some people use the calculator, they just say 9%. If you can use that, it's still fine. But I'm going to be using decimal. I'm going to be using decimal. Okay? Right, N. N. I know most of you are going to give me an answer and say N is the number of years. N is number of years. But I'm going to give you an answer which is a bit different. Okay? N is the number of times interest is paid. N is the number of times the interest is added or paid. So in 1 year, if I say 9% per annum compounded annually, it means every year I'm getting 9%. But if I say compounded monthly, how many times will be that in a year? It will be 12 times. So be careful. You're going to realize these things as we move on. N is not the number of years. My note is in capital letters. N is not what? The number of years. It is the number of times interest is paid. Please take note of that. Okay. Right. Now we have this formula here. A nice one. Are we going to be asked to find A only? The accumulated amount only? No, no. You can be asked to find A. You can be asked to find P. You can be asked to find I. You can be asked to find N. We're going to do all these 4 calculations. Okay? Right. Now, let's move on. This is an example. Every question, read the question, the information, and then go to the questions, and then go back and read the information again. And underline the key things. Okay? Right. I want you to read the information. For 1 minute, I'm going to give you 1 minute. Read the information, go to the questions, read the information again. And highlight if you can, or write them down. Just highlight the key points. If you can identify which one is your P, which one is your A, which one is your N, which one is your I. Okay, identify those. And also identify which one you are looking for. Right, let me go back. I want you to copy the formula. I didn't tell you to do that. I want you to copy the formula, and then after that, we'll come back to this, okay? Right, I want you to copy the formula. Just copy this formula, okay? Copy it fast for 30 seconds. Just copy the formula. A is equals to P, then bracket 1 plus I times N. IN means I times N. Then close bracket. You have your formula now. That's the first thing you do in financial mathematics. Take the formula from the formula sheet, you write it down. Every time, that's the first step. Write the formula, then substitute correctly. Right, now, you have the formula now. I want you to read 1 minute and then pick the correct things. What is your A? What is your P? What is your I? What is your N? And what are you looking for? Let's do that for the next 1 minute. And then after 1 minute, we're going to do the calculations. But now I want you to read and highlight the key points. Let's do that. Welcome back, grade 11s. What did I say? I said you must read the information. Some people believe that there's no time allocated for that. In the examination, there's time allocated for you to what? To read the information. Please do read, because you'll be wasting time calculating things that you don't even understand. That will be time wasted. Okay, right. Wusi invests 50,000 into her savings account in order to save money for her holidays. If the interest rate is 10.5% per annum, simple interest, calculate the accumulated amount that Wusi will have after 6 years. The total interest earned, the interest that Wusi received each year. Do I understand all this? Yes, I do. Now, let me highlight the key points. What am I looking for? First, that's the first question I'm asking myself. What is this? This is simple interest. This is simple interest. I write down the formula. Write down the formula. This is simple interest. Okay? Then let's look at the things. What are we looking for? The accumulated amount. So we're looking for A. Okay? Wusi invest 50,000. What is the 50,000? This is our P. Into a savings account in order to save money for her holidays. If the interest rate is 10.5%, what is this? This is the I. Per annum, simple interest. Very important. Okay. Calculate the what? The accumulated amount. And then you have written the formula. There's a mark for writing the formula. Okay. Then what's the next thing we do? Substitute. Don't rush. I is your decimal, right? 10.5% as a decimal. What is it? I want you to use your calculators. I said you must have your calculator with you there. What is 10.5% as a decimal? Let's have that. What is 10.5% as a decimal? It is 0.105. Right, okay. So you substitute correctly. See, you've substituted correctly. Okay. Your P is correct. Your I is correct. Your N is correct. You see that? And then put this in the calculator as it is. Put this in the calculator. What do you get? You're getting what? 81,500. So now this is the accumulated amount. She borrowed 50,000. She's going to pay back 81,500. Okay. What is the next question? The total interest earned. I promised you. What did I say? I'm going to explain what interest is and what interest rate is. What do you think these two things are? What is the difference between interest and interest rate? It says, let's calculate the total interest. What is the difference? Grade 11s, 30 seconds, please discuss this. What is the difference between interest and interest rate? I hope we managed to discuss grade 11s. What is the difference? The interest is the amount of money. The interest is the money. And then the interest rate is the percentage. So in this case, our interest rate is 10.5%. Now, what is the amount? What is that amount? So she paid back 81,500 after borrowing, okay, 50,000. It's not borrowing, sorry. Always like borrowing. It's savings, which is a good thing. Invest, save. Okay, so she earned, not paid. Earned because this is an investment. So now 81,500. So what interest did she gain? I hope that part is not going to confuse you. I was reading it as if it's a loan, it's an investment. So investment, you gain interest. You take a loan, you pay interest. Okay, right. So how much did she gain? So we say 81,500 minus 50,000, which is 31,500. Do you see that? So this is the interest earned. Okay, right. If there are any questions, please send us your questions. 064 748 8913. Send us your WhatsApp. Right, okay? And then the interest that was received each year. She invested this money for how long? Where is it? 6 years. Okay. Okay. Oh, yes. This part. 6 years. You see, so she invested the money for 6 years. So now, how much interest each year? So what we do? We divide this interest that was earned by what? By 6 years. So there are those simple calculations in what? Financial mathematics grade 11s. Very, very easy. Let's get all the 15%. Right, now we can what? Then divide our total interest by the number of years, which means each year she was getting 5,250 rands. Okay, right, let's move on to the next question. What were you calculating here? We're calculating what? We're calculating A. We're left with how many things now? We haven't calculated P, we haven't calculated I, we haven't calculated N. We'll see in the next examples. Okay, right, let's try. Let's go to the next example. But before we go to the next example, I want us to take that 1 minute break. 1 minute break. And then we go to example 2. Let's take a break. Right, welcome back, grade 11s. We want to look at some of your WhatsApp questions. Okay, so you need about 2 minutes. I'll give you 2 minutes more. You can continue discussing just two more minutes while we are looking at some of your questions. And then after those 2 minutes, I'll be answering those questions. Let's take 2 minutes. Welcome back, grade 11s. Thank you very much. Right, we have a few questions that we're going to be answering using our WhatsApp platform. But at the same time, if you ask a question, it can assist even the next person. So I want us to look at those questions, okay? Please, when you're sending us your questions, name your school so that we can acknowledge. We really appreciate your input. We really appreciate your input. It shows us that we are together. Right, so there are 3 questions. The first one is the principal amount one. Okay, the principal amount one. Let me just do this thing like this. I'll go back to the example 1 so that I answer everything there, because the question is about what? Example 1. So Busi invests 50,000 rand. So this is the original amount. So the principal amount is the original amount. This is the money that is invested. Okay, right. So if you invest money, you gain interest. You get interest. Okay, if you save money, right? And then if the interest rate is 10.5% per annum simple interest, means every year she gets 10.5% of 50,000. Because the other question is about what? The interest rate. The other question is about the whole example 1. So I've answered all the 3 questions about the what is the principal amount. I did not understand example 1 and what is interest rate. Okay, right, now calculate the accumulated amount. Like we said, we have our formula. A is equals to P1 plus IN. Our accumulated amount in this case, we say it is A, isn't it? Right, what is the P, the principal amount, the original amount? It is the 50,000. Okay, so you put your 50,000 there. Okay, let me just show you. You put your 50,000 like we did here. We put the 50,000. What is our interest rate? The I. 10.5%. If you say 10.5 divided by 100, you will get 0.105. Like if you're saying, you always talk to your friends and say, guys, I got 80%. What is the meaning of that? When you're saying I got 80%, it means you're saying I got 80 out of 100, isn't it? So percent means out of 100. So 10.5% is 10.5 over 100 divided by 100, which is this as a decimal. Can you use a calculator and see? You'll get that. So this is the I. And then N, every year she's getting interest. Remember I said that N is not the number of years. So every year she's getting interest. First year, second year, third year, fourth year, sixth year. So she's going to get interest 6 times. Okay, which is 81,500. Now the money will be 81,500. This is the money that was invested plus interest. 81,500 is the money that was invested plus interest. You see that? So, and then now the question was interest earned. So from that 81,500, we remove the 50,000. And then what we remain with? We remain with 31,500. So it means this is just the interest. If you say 31,500 plus the 50,000, you will get your 81,500 combined. Okay, right. Each year, now you divide, because there were 6 years, so you divide by 6, and then you get the interest for each year. Okay, let's go to example 2. The other question was, are we required to calculate the interest rate? Okay, I won't answer that question. I want to give you 2 minutes to try example 2. And then after that, we'll just do it together. I want us to try to be a bit fast now, because at the end, if we are too slow, we'll cover a very few things, okay? But it is very important. Please let us know. If we're moving fast, let us know so that we make sure you understand. Let's try. Let's try example 2. 2 minutes. Welcome back, grade 11s. I hope you are still enjoying mathematics. We're going to be doing a lot of things today. Remember that. We're going to do a lot of things. Higher purchase. Remember that. We talked about that. Inflation and all those things. We're going to be talking about those things. Right now, at the beginning of 2016, there are some words that are very, very important when it comes to financial mathematics. Very, very important. Things like beginning, at the end. Because it is very, very important. If I'm saying I invested 10,000 in 2016, it doesn't make sense in financial mathematics. Was it the beginning of 2016 or the end of 2016? Okay, so if you invest at the beginning of 2016, it means the money is going to stay in the bank the whole year till the December at the end of 2016. But if you invest at the end of 2016, it's something else. It's at the end of 2016. You see that? So now it is very, very important. At the beginning of 2016, Busi invested 10,500. Okay? Right, there is a topic that we're going to do about timelines, but I'm introducing it now so that you are aware of these things. Right, we're still using the formula. Busi invested 10,500 into your savings account at the beginning of 2021. When? At the beginning of 2021, she had a total of 15,600. Calculate the simple interest rate that Busi received. What do you have here? Okay, Busi invested 10,500. That is the P. She had a total of 15,600 at the end, which is A. It's very, very important. What do we have? I. We're looking for it. We don't have. Then where do we get our N? Every year, every year, every year. From 2016 to 2021. Right, now, sometimes I do draw these timelines. People don't like timelines. Most people don't like, but they help me a lot. As an adult like this, you see, I draw timelines. They help me a lot. Right, this is 2016. See that? It has two parts. The beginning, this one is the beginning of 2016. And then the end of 2016. The first one is beginning, end. And then the end of 2016 is beginning of 2017. Do you know that? Okay, so we have beginning of 2017 here, end of 2016. Then there's 2017 here. It will end. Then 2018 begins. Then 2018 will end and 2019 begins. 2019 will end and 2020 begins. And then 2020 will end and 2021 begins. At the beginning of 2021, which is here. So it is from here up, from here up to there. Okay, because we don't want to talk about the end of 2020, up to the beginning of 2021. So how many years is that? Then you start counting your years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. From the beginning of 2016 to the beginning of 2021, it is 5 years. But if you can count that without the timeline, it's still fine. The timeline is not marked. It's going to assist you. It's a tool that we use. Okay? Right. If you could find that it's 5 years without doing the timeline, it's okay. Right. So 5 years. Now we have our N. Now let's go straight to the formula. What do we do? It's simple interest. So we write down the formula. Okay, right, let's substitute into the formula. I'm going to be fast now because we've done, once we understand the information, then the calculations should be easy. You see that? Then do your calculations, substitute correctly. This, especially with P and A, when it comes to that, people will think that A is P, P is A, something like that. Okay, don't confuse these two. Right, this is our A, accumulated amount, P, this is years there. Okay. Now we're using our knowledge about what algebraic equations. So we divide by 10,500 on both sides. So it's going to be what? 15,600 divided by 10,500 is equals to, and then if you divide by 10,500 here, it's going to disappear and then becomes 1 plus I times 5. You see that? Okay. Because you divide 10,000 by 10,500 divided by 10,500, you get what? You get 1. Right. Now, and then if you divide 15,600 plus 10,500, you'll get this. And then why do I leave my answer as a fraction? In financial mathematics, you don't round off during calculation. If you want to write it as a decimal, let me see what this thing is. 52 divided by 35 as a decimal. It is 1,485714286. If you wanted to write it as a decimal, you write the whole decimal. So now I prefer leaving it as a fraction because it's short. I'm not going to waste time. Right, and then what do we do? Transpose. So it's going to be 52 divided by 35 minus 1. What do you get? 17 over 35. Still, I write it as what? As a fraction. Okay? Right, but if I want to write it as a decimal, I do not round off. And then what do we do? Divide both sides by 5 because we want to get I. Then divide both sides by 5. And then what do you get? We get that. Now you can write it as a decimal now. Okay? Which is this. Do we leave it like this? How do we convert a decimal to a percentage? We multiply by 100. Remember that. Converting a fraction to a percentage, multiply by 100. Converting a decimal to a percentage, multiply by 100. And then converting a percentage to a decimal, divide by 100. It's the opposite now. Okay? And then multiply by 100, and then get 9.71%. Now we can round off. We have calculated I. We have calculated A. We have calculated I. Right, let's go to the next question. Now, I'm not going to give you break because time is moving fast. Simpiwe invested his money at a rate of 9% per annum, simple interest. After 3 years, he had 21,000 in his savings account. How much did Simpiwe invest? What are we looking for here, grade 11s? Are we looking for A? Are we looking for P? Are we looking for N? Are we looking for I? What did he invest? So it means now we're talking about what? We're talking about the P. So it means this 21,000 is the A. So what is P? Write down the formula. Let's substitute what we have, what we are given. Our A is 21,000. We put 21,000. And then our interest rate, grade 11s. There's this mistake. People find 9%, then they just write 0.9. Do it. Use your calculator. For the interest rate, you want to convert it to a decimal. Use your calculator. It's a simple calculation, but I've seen this mistake a lot. 8.5%, someone writes 0.85. Then it spoils everything. 9% is 0.09. Use your calculator. Just say 9 divided by 100. 8.5% is 0.085. So for the interest rate, use your calculator and get your marks, please. Right now, and then we substitute this whole thing. I just put this thing in the calculator, and then it gave me 127 over 100. I explained why I leave my answers as what? Fractions, because I don't want to write long decimals. Because if I'm using decimals, I have to write everything. Right, and then we divide both sides by 127 over 100. If you want to times, remember you tip and times. If you are dividing with a fraction, you tip and times. Becomes times, then the numerator becomes denominator like this. You can say 21,000 times 100 over 127. You can do that. But we have our calculators, we can calculate our P. This is the P. Okay? Should you leave our answer like that? We can round off now because this is our final answer. How much is that? If you leave it like this, how much? You can't read. Ne? Okay? So it should be rounded off. Okay, so it's 16,535 Rand and 43 cents. Right, so this is the money that was invested by Simpiwe. You see that? Okay, so this is how you calculate these variables. Right, let's move on. Oh, okay, this part, very, very important. Let's learn to answer the question. Don't just calculate and leave calculations there. Learn to answer the question. The question says, how much did Simpiwe invest? Simpiwe invested 16,535, what am I saying? 16,535 rand and 43 cents. We've answered the question. Learn to answer the question. Okay? Right. Example 4. Simpio wants to save 32,804 for his air ticket to visit Hawaii for holidays. If you want to go for a holiday, you save for it and you go and enjoy the holiday. So the ticket is 32,804. If he can afford to invest 20,500 into his savings account that pays 12% simple interest per annum, how long will it take him to raise enough money for the air ticket? Give your answer to the nearest year. Okay, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to try this one. Okay, I don't want to rush. I want you to try things. Otherwise, we rush and then we are not learning anything. Right, 2 minutes, and then after 2 minutes, I'll go through the solution. Let's do try. Right, welcome back, grade 11s. Sorry, I'm saying grade 10 now. Grade 11s are going to grade 12. Right, okay. Right, now, thank you very much for your questions from Butlebusile Secondary School. We really appreciate your questions. Right, what is interest rate? And then there's also a question about rounding off. Thank you very much for those questions. But rounding off, you didn't mention your school, but we really, really appreciate your questions, and please send us input so that we can move together. Right. The question is about interest rate. What is the interest rate? We say that the interest rate is what? Is the percentage, like 12%. 12%. This is the interest rate. It's a percentage. Okay. 12% of what? Of what is invested. That's the percentage. Or 12% of what? Of what is borrowed. Okay. And then interest is the money. If I say 10% of 10,000 is 1,000, isn't it? So 10% is the interest rate, and then 1,000 is the interest. Okay? So we get interest from the interest rate. Most calculations, you get interest from the interest rate. Right. Also, we can get interest rate from what? From the other variables that will be given, the A, the P, and the N. Okay, we've done one of those examples. Right, give your answer to the nearest what? Yeah, we want to find N now. Okay, right, I hope you tried. Okay, so now what you're supposed to do, write the formula, very, very important. Now mark your work. Even writing the formula, can you put a tick there? It's very, very important. Did you substitute correctly? Let's see. If you substituted correctly, mark your work. Okay? Is your A 32,804? Is your P 20,500? Is your I 0.12? And then N remains N because that's what we're looking for. You find yourself you've written 5 where there's N. So well, no, we don't need to calculate anything because now you already have the 5. So what you are looking for must remain as it is. Okay, and then now what we do? Same thing, divide by 20,500, both sides. Remember, this transposing thing sometimes confuses people. Right, they say 20,500 come this side, then you subtract. No. Remember, this thing is a shortcut. It's not even mathematics. We're doing it to make our life easy. We do the inverse operation here. Okay, so the multiplicative inverse is what? We have to divide, because this is multiplication. There's a times here. So we divide by 20,500. Please, don't say the number. Jump the equal sign and subtract. That only happens if you are adding or subtracting. That's when the number will jump and change sign. If it's multiplication, divide both sides. If it's division, multiply both sides. Don't forget that. So we're dividing by 20,500 here on both sides, and then I got a nice decimal, a long one. Unfortunately, I didn't get the fractions that I like, but I will have to write everything. I'm forced to write the whole decimal. I can't round off. The other question is about rounding off. I'm going to answer it now. Right. Then what do we do? Bring the 1. You see there's a plus here. Okay. The inverse of adding is subtracting. So now we can subtract 1 here. We get 0, the whole decimal. See, because we have subtracted 1 there. And then divide by 0.12, because this is multiplication here. So we're dividing by what? 0.12 both sides. And then we get that. As I explain things, you must be doing them using your calculator so that you can see, oh, okay, saying the right thing. Oh, okay. Saying the wrong thing here. I'm not getting what he's saying. Send your WhatsApp, and then we talk about it. Okay, right now, and then what is N? It will take Simpiwe 5 years roughly to raise the money. We've answered the question. Right, when you're not told, even if you read the instruction of the paper, rounding off, the final answer, round it off to 2 decimal places. It means there must be 2 numbers after the comma. Unless stated otherwise. They can say round it off to nearest 1,000 rand. If it is not stated, it's 2 decimal places. Okay, I hope I've answered your question about rounding off. Please, if you are not answered, you feel like you are not answered, you can send us another question. Higher purchase, which is simple interest, application of simple interest now. What is it? What is higher purchase? Higher. What is the meaning of that? Hiring something. If I hire something, does it become mine? No. If I go there to build us and hire a tool to fix something, it does not become my tool. I just pay for it for that particular time. Purchase. What is purchasing? You're buying something. So what is hire purchase now? They're saying I'm hiring, I'm purchasing. What is the meaning of that? Hire purchase means you're hiring it, at the same time purchasing it, buying it. Okay, so during the payment period, it's not mine. If I fail to pay, they'll come and get their thing. No one has to pay anything because I've been hiring it. But after paying for everything, then I've purchased it. It is now mine. That is hire purchase. Have you seen these adverts? Because it's about life. Mathematics is not about just X and Y. It's even about life. The decision you're going to be making. Very soon you'll be out there making decisions. Right, okay, you must know what is happening. You've seen things like this. There's interest involved. Do you want to pay interest? Okay, you make those decisions, informed decisions. You see how nice mathematics is. Right, you have seen things like this. They'll say you're paying what? Like this, are they saying, say 500 rand, you're paying 329 rand, but you multiply this with sometimes 36 months. Sometimes they add things on top. You see, I think we have seen things like this. This is hire purchase. Joshua Doe will go to Okay, I can talk about companies. Okay, right, fine. Now, let's go to an example. Musa purchases a TV set for 25,000 on a hire purchase agreement. Hire purchase agreement. We said hire purchase is what? Simple interest. Remember that is very, very important. Hire purchase is simple interest. The agreement is that the loan is to be paid off over a period of 2 years. Hire purchase is what? Simple interest. With equal monthly payments at an interest rate of 13% per annum, calculate the total amount that Musa will pay for the TV. Okay, I'm going to be explaining now so that we can cover a lot of things, but given an opportunity, I'll give you work to do. Let's go back to our problem. Musa purchases a TV set for 25,000 on a hire purchase agreement. What is this 25,000? We know once they say hire purchase agreement is what? It's simple interest. Let's not worry about the formula there. So this is our principal amount, the 25,000. The agreement is that the loan is to be paid off over a period of 2 years. This is our N. Okay? With equal monthly payments at an interest rate of 13% per annum. This is our I. What are we looking for? The total amount that Musa will pay for the TV. We're looking for what? We're looking for A. The monthly repayments. Now, we divide that amount by what? By 24, because 2 years times 12 is 24. And then we'll find the total interest paid. Is it better now? Do you see that when you read something for the first time, you have a rough idea? You read it for the second time, now you understand it. So do that even in the examination. Right. Now what do we do? The total amount that Musa will pay for the TV, write down the formula. Okay, substitute. Okay, we've discussed about all the variables. And then put this in the calculator. It means he's going to pay 31,500. What was the cash price for this thing? 25,000. And he's going to pay back how much? 31,500. Do you see? There's more money now. Money has been added. What we call that top-up money that has been added to 25,000 to become what? 31,500. That is the interest that was charged. Okay, so now, monthly repayments. So he's paying this money, which is the 25,000 plus the interest. Here, this one is 25,000 plus interest. Now, divided is equal installments. So it's divided by into 36 parts. So not 36, 36 is 3 years, into 24 parts. 2 times 12, that's 24. And then you get 1,312 rand and 50 cents. Okay? All right. But in real life, if you go to shops, they'll tell you, oh, there's pay 10% deposit. Okay, before we go to that, now the total interest paid, we said, we've talked about this, 31,500 minus 25,000. It means there's an interest of what? 6,500. It's a lot of money, isn't it? Okay, but sometimes we don't have this money to buy something for 25,000 at once. So that's why we prefer what? We prefer these small installments. At the same time, we'll be charged interest. So you have to make those decisions knowing what we are doing. Okay, so in life, if you go to shop sometimes, they give you a deposit. They say that you must pay a deposit. They say 10%. Okay, so let's do this calculation, and then after that, we'll go to compound interest. The cash price of a couch is 30,000. On a hire purchase, what does this mean? Simple interest. 30,000, that's our P. Is it P? We'll find out. Right, a customer must pay a deposit of 10% of cash price and pay the balance of a 13.5% per annum interest in 36 equal monthly installments. 36 equal monthly installments, how many years? That's 3 years. You see that? That's 3 years. Okay, because they say 13.5% per annum, so per year. So the interest rate per year is what? We need to know that this thing is going to be for 3 years. For your end, it must be 3. What is a deposit? If I pay this deposit, the 10%, so how much am I owing now? This thing is 30,000 rand. I pay the 10%, which is 3,000. I pay 3,000. How much am I owing now? Am I still owing 30,000? No. I've paid, so I'm now owing 27,000. So the interest, understand learners, interest now is going to be charged on 27,000 because I did not borrow 30,000. I've borrowed 27,000. Understand that? The item is 30,000. I pay 10% of 30,000, which is 3,000. 30,000 minus 3,000 is 27,000. So it means what? It means I'm owing 27,000 at the beginning of that agreement. Okay, so now what you do, the loan amount is not 30,000. The loan amount is what? 27,000 because I've paid a deposit of 3,000. So now the interest is going to be charged on what? On 27,000. That's what we are doing now. You see, it's a bit different from the previous one because the previous one did not have deposit. Right now, hire purchase, simple interest. P 30,000, 27,000, not 30,000. 13.5%, 0.135. Do you see the 36 months, which is 3 years? Put in the calculator. Our A is 37,935. So how much have I paid for this couch? How much have I paid for this couch? I've paid a total of 37,935, which is this. But remember, we paid a deposit at the beginning. We paid 3,000. Do you remember that? So now on top of this, we paid 3,000. So in total, we've paid how much? We've paid 40,935. You see that? Okay. You'll get such questions, grade 11s. Please take note. Okay. Right. Now, how much is each installment? Remember again, we just got an answer which is 40,935. But this answer involves what? The deposit. But what did you say? We said that they took a loan of 27,000, and then we charged interest, and then the amount became 37,935. So now the monthly installment, we are using this amount, this one. Let me be clumsy a bit so that you can see. Okay, that's what we're using for what? For the monthly installments, because that's the loan amount plus interest. Now, so we're going to divide this by what? What are we dividing with? By the number of installments, which is 36. So it means each month is 1,053 rand and 75 cents. Sometimes when you get questions like this in financial mathematics, your answer must be realistic. Okay? You find an answer which is 10,000, then you continue. It can't be. You can't pay 10,000 for 36 times in 3 years. Okay? That would be too much. See? So make sure that you check all those things. Does my answer make sense or what? Okay? Right. Now, we're done with simple interest. Okay? Simple growth. Now I want to talk about compound interest. Let's take a break, maybe 2 minutes. Let's take 2 minutes, and then after 2 minutes, we're going to talk about compound interest. Let's take a break. Welcome back, grade 11s. Thank you very much for your input. Your input is very, very crucial. It directs us this side. Thank you very much. So there are a lot of questions about example 5. So now this side we've decided that we'll go back to example 5 and then remember our meeting again on Wednesday. Don't miss the Wednesday lesson and be on time so that we start together and move together. Right, so we'll do our lesson till the end up to 1:30, and then if we don't finish what I prepared here, we'll continue on Wednesday. We cannot rush and then not understand. Okay, let me go back to example 5. Okay, I think rushing will not assist us. Okay, let's go back to example 5. Now I've written a lot of things here. I hope you manage to see. Should I go to example 5? Okay, I thought this is example 5. Okay, here. Right, Musa purchases a TV set for 25,000 on a hire purchase agreement. We agreed that hire purchase is what? Is simple interest. The agreement is that the loan is to be paid off over a period of 2 years. N is 2. With equal monthly payments at an interest rate of 13% per annum. Our I is 13%, which is 0.13. Now, the total amount that Musa will pay for the TV. I think the questions are not about this one, A, but about what? The monthly repayments. We got a lot of questions about the monthly repayments. Okay, the total amount was very clear. It is our accumulated amount, isn't it? So now, let's go to that. Okay. Right, which was 31,500. Right, Musa took the TV set for 25,000. So when he started the agreement, he was owing 25,000. But because of interest is charged before even paying for it. Is it? You know that? It's charged before even paying for it. Because of interest is going to pay back 31,500. In total, this 31,500 involves, there is the 25,000 and the interest. If you say 31,500 minus 25,000, you will get that interest. So he's paying this 31,500. And then how does he pay it? He's paying it every month. The agreement is for how many years? 2 years. Each year has got how many months? 12 months. 2 years has got how many months? 24 months. 2 times 12. So if we have an agreement for 2 years and is paid monthly, we are going to pay 24 times 12. Understand that? How much is paid in 24 months? This is the amount. So it is divided into smaller parts. So 31,500 divided by 12, what do we get? We get what? We get our 1,312 rand and 50 cents. If you multiply this amount by 24, you will get your 31,500. This is the monthly payment. You pay till you what? You finish paying for it. Okay? I hope I've answered that part. Right. The second part. The total interest paid. This one is even easier than the second part. Now, you took a loan. It's like taking a loan. Okay, paying. Okay. Right? Pay this thing, give 25,000. And then interest, it became 31,500. So what was the interest charged here? It's 31,000 minus what? 31,500 minus 25,000. The interest is actually 6,500. Okay? Right. Then example 6. I'll also explain examples like I did with example 5. The cash price for a couch is 30,000. On hire purchase, what does that mean? Simple interest. A customer must pay a deposit of 10% of the cash price. 10% of what? Of the cash price. What is the cash price? 30,000. What is 10% of 30,000? Is 3,000. So before you take this couch, you must pay 3,000. What is the price of the couch? 30,000. After paying 3,000, how much am I still owing? And I'm now owing 27,000. So I can't be charged interest on 30,000 because I've paid some of it. So I'm going to be charged on what I've taken as a loan, which is 27,000. So I'm going to be charged interest on 27,000. Okay, let's go to question A. How much should the customer pay for the couch in total? It's a bit of a multi-step question here. You have to calculate the loan amount first and then add interest to that loan amount. It's a multi-step question. You have to calculate the loan amount first, and then after that, you add interest to that loan amount. Okay? Now, what happened here? We're calculating the loan amount here, the 27,000. 10% of 30,000 is 3,000, and then we subtract 3,000 from 30,000, which is 27,000. This is what we are owing now, the 27,000. This is what you are owing, the 27,000. So the interest plus loan, the loan plus interest, it is the 27,000 plus the interest. That's what we're talking about. Okay? Now, if you are adding interest to the principal amount, 27,000 is the principal amount. We don't need to do these funny calculations, a lot of them. We just use the formula. Put this in the formula, and then what we get? We get our 37,935. This is the total amount that must be paid. It's like you've taken 27,000 and then you pay back this amount. But what did the question say? How much in total was paid? So we must include the deposit that was paid in the beginning. So it becomes what? 3,000, which is the deposit. Okay, this 10% of cash price. Okay, plus this, which is 37,935. So in total, this couch became 40,935. So on top of this 30,000 means you've paid about 10,000 something. Okay, is it worth it? It's about your situation. We have different situations. If I have the cash to pay, it's fine. If I don't have it, I can pay it in small installments. But if I do that, I'm going to be charged interest. Okay, right, that was that. Now, how much is each installment? We said for how many years here? Okay, 36 months to pay. So it means each installment now, we are going to divide this by 36, 3 years. Okay, you've seen some adverts in the TV. They say 36 months to pay, zero deposit, what. You have seen those. You check for those now. Okay, right, you see that. So now, this is the amount, the loan amount plus interest. This is the loan amount plus interest. So we divide this amount by 36, okay? And then we divide by 36. What do you get? 1,053 rand and 75 cents. Okay? All right, remember that. Remember that also, if you even come late, you can even go back a bit. Let's say you come late to the lesson. Someone is concerned, no, I came late for the lesson. You can go back a bit and, okay, you'll see everything. You'll see everything. But now if you are with other people now, you can't do that because some people started it. So on Wednesday, make sure we meet in time. Right, okay. Now, compound interest. Now, because we've covered the simple interest and simple growth, right? The compound interest, we're going to do it in what? In our next lesson, but let me give you the highlights. What compound interest up to the end of our lesson, half past. So, but when we start our lesson, we'll start with compound interest like we have never seen it. Okay, right. What is the difference between compound interest and simple interest? Right. I want you to, maybe you have a teacher there in the classroom or you're alone. Remember what we observed when we looked at simple interest. What did we say? The interest is what? It is always the same, does not change. The interest is charged on what? Is charged on the original amount. The interest is charged on the principal amount. You see that? And we got what type of a graph? A straight line graph. That's what you observed when you looked at what simple interest. Are we going to see the same thing with compound interest? Let's see. Right. In compound interest, interest is calculated on the original amount as well as on interest. If I invest 10,000 and I gain interest of 2,000, I am going to gain interest on 12,000 in the next compounding period, or the next time I'm earning interest. Do you see that? But for simple interest, it was always 10,000. If I invest 10,000, it's going to be 10% of 10,000, 10% of 10,000, 10% of 10,000. You see that? But for compound, my interest will also earn interest. Which one will you prefer if you're investing? You prefer which one? Compound, ne? Because compound will grow faster. Interest will earn interest. Right, let's see. Interest earns interest. That is compound interest. Consider an amount of 5,000. We are doing, remember, we use the same situation now, but now it's compound interest of 10% per annum, compounded annually. Very important. What is the meaning of this? Because very soon we are going to be talking about compounded monthly, compounded quarterly, compounded semi-annually, but now this level we're saying compounded annually. Next lesson, things may change. Right now, it means 10% per year, and is calculated every year. End of 1 year, get interest. Another year, interest. Another year, interest. Okay? Right. Remember that. So we're calculating interest every year. That is meant by compounded annually. Okay? Right. And then, so first year, is it going to be same as simple interest? Okay. Right. I want us to take a short break. Just take a short break and then we'll come back after 1 minute. We'll continue after 1 minute. Right, welcome back, Cretans. Welcome back. I really hope we managed to catch up because some people are really concerned that we're a bit moving faster. But try to go back. I really hope you gained from that. Right, okay. We're no longer rushing. We know that in the next lesson, we're going to be doing compound interest. We're going to start from compound interest and then we move on to exchange rates. Right, so 5,000 plus 10% of 5,000. The first calculation will be the same as what? As the simple interest one, okay? But second year now, it will be 10% of what? It will be 10% of 5,500. You see, it's changing. 10% or even the color is changing. You see that? It means that the percentage of the amount, which amount? The amount that we are calculating there, we are using for the calculation is changing. It's the new balance. My balance in the bank has gone up to 5,500. So I'm gaining interest on 5,500. Okay. This calculation may be confusing. Maybe. Okay. Right. What you can do, you can find, let's say, 10% of 5,000. What is it? Which is 500 Rand. Okay. It means the 5,000 is going to increase by 500 Rand. Then you say 5,000 plus 500, which is 5,500. Okay, this must not confuse you. So I've this 5,000 plus 10% of 5,000. I've just combined it so that becomes easy for us. Okay, and then put it once, you get this. And then second year is now the new balance. What about third year? It will be 10% of what? It will be 10% of 6,050. Do you see that? It's 10% of 6,050. So it means what? It means it's 10% of the new balance. We are getting even a higher amount. Compound interest is what? It's interesting. Okay, we're getting more money. We're getting more money. Right, okay. So 10% of 6,050. See, the balance is changing. By simple interest, it was always 10% of 10% of 5,000, 10% of 5,000, 10% of 5,000. Okay, so now is this, and then here is going to be 6,655 plus 10% of it. You see, my investment is growing, and its interest is also earning interest. Okay, so now you see that there's 6,655 and the interest. 10% of 6,655. Okay? Then fifth year, this is the balance. My balance here is going to earn interest. Okay? It means the money invested and the interest will earn interest. So now it will be 7,320 Rand 50 plus 10% of 7,320 Rand 50. Then we get that. Okay? Right. Now what is the difference between these two? The simple interest and compound interest. We plotted our graph in the previous one, the simple interest one. Okay, let's see if we can plot a graph again here. But let's see what is the difference in the interest here. 500 Rand. What's the difference in the next one? 550. Next one, is it going to go up? You see, 605. It's going up. The interest is changing. It's going up. 665 Rand 50. See that? It's going up. 732 Rand 5. You see that? So now, but for simple interest, remember getting 500, 500, 500, 500, 500. And then when you plot it, we get a graph like this. Okay? It's one that I've done it for 5 years. But if you invest in what? In longer time, for a longer time, you see your graph is going to be shaped. I'm going to show you in the next one. You see the graph is going up like that. What type of a graph is that, grade 11s? Remember, it did what? The quadratic function, the hyperbolic function, the exponential function. Which one is which? Here, if you look at the blue graph, like an exponential graph. Compound interest, what? Grows exponentially. Exponentially. Okay? Right. You see that? So this is like the graph for the simple interest straight line. And then this is the graph for compound interest is exponential. You see that? So this is what we have observed when it comes to what? To compound interest. So I want us to end here for today, and then on Wednesday we'll start by introducing. We have introduced compound interest, and then we start from there. We go to the formula. There's a nice formula again for what? For compound interest. We're going to be using the formula, calculating A, calculating P, calculating I, N. We won't do the calculation for now, but we'll do it later in other grade 12. Okay, right now, and then that will be that in the next lesson. Okay, right. It was a very great day for us this side. We enjoyed interacting with you. Your WhatsApp questions, your WhatsApp input. We're very, very busy answering your questions. Keep it up, grade 11s. Keep it up, and then let's enjoy. Let's meet again on Wednesday. Remember, grade 11s, to keep safe. Okay, please wear your mask, social distance, and you sanitize. Okay, goodbye. Let's meet in our next lesson.